Joining me now to help explain what we learned about President Trump, his administration day, are two of the House Intelligence Committee members we just heard from. Democratic Congressman Denny Heck of Washington, Democratic Congresswoman Terry Sewell of Alabama. Congresswoman Sewell, I'll begin with you. What did you learn from McGuire today?
You know, I think that today was a sobering moment in American history. I don't think any of us come to Congress with the intent on starting an impeachment inquiry against the President of the United States. But when you have the President of the United States on his own admission saying that he solicited information, an investigation from a foreign power to influence our elections, the 2020 elections, it's really egregious. I think that perhaps what was most important in my line of testimony was getting the ODNI director to assure us that the whistleblower can come before Congress and that he can come before Congress uninhibited with the full protections of the whistleblower statute. That, to me, was the most important part of my my questioning today.
And do you anticipate that in closed session you will hear directly from the whistleblower?
We hope so. I think that we intend to follow the facts where they lead us, and that also means trying to interview the folks that were detailed in the complaint.
Do you view, Congressman Heck, do you view McGuire's actions as part of a cover-up?
Absolutely. I mean, he tortuously contorted himself to rationalize his position. But look, Chris, at the end of the day, when the book is written about what happened in this sordid chapter in American history, it's going to be entitled Shakedown and Cover-Up, because that's exactly what happened. But I invite people not just to take my word for it, but to go ahead and read the whistleblower complaint, which is available, and go ahead and read the official record of the telephone conversation, and then put it into context with all the other things we know, like hiding that official record, like tasking private citizen Rudy Giuliani to go to Europe and ask the Ukrainians to manufacture dirt, and remembering that the Ukrainian ambassador from the U.S. was fired because she wouldn't play ball with them, and remember that the president withheld the military aid until such time as President Zelensky gave him an indication that he would cooperate with him and interfere in our election.
Congresswoman Sewell, I want to ask you about this idea that they took this transcript out of, and again, that there exists a word-for-word transcript, which I think is your understanding that there's a word-for-word transcript at some point that's different from what the White House released?
Well, I think that what we have is a readout. It says at the very bottom pretty clearly that it's not a full transcript, right, but it is a readout. So I think that what's most telling is the fact that everything that's in this memo or this readout of the call was verified in the underlining complaint, word for word almost. Yep. And so I think that in and of itself shows how verifiable, how reliable. After all, the IG said that it was credible and it was urgent. Right. And the fact that the acting ODNI director sat on it and went straight to the White House, which was the source of the complaint, is mind-boggling to me. I think it's really important that we get to the bottom of this. I think that it is a serious problem that the White House is stonewalling us, that they have done everything they can to try to obstruct this investigation. And I think that it's high time that we get to the bottom of it, and I look forward to doing that. Well,
that's what would be my next question, Congressman Heck. I mean, there seems to me the president, Rudy Giuliani, and his defenders are saying this is hearsay, this is hearsay. And it seems to me there's a fairly straightforward solution to that, which is that we can just get everyone who directly experienced and witnessed this and participated under oath, right?
Well, furthermore, Chris, let's remember that the Inspector General was appointed by the Trump administration and confirmed by the Republican Senate, and he's the one that reached the conclusion that there was an urgent need here and that, in fact, there was credible evidence to support it. So, again, combined with the official record of the telephone conversation, people don't have to take our word for it. It is right there. I think our next step, hopefully, will be the opportunity to talk to the whistleblower. But, Chris, let us all be forewarned. We know President Trump has exactly, no more, no less, than 4 plays: deny, attack, play the victim, and change the subject through the most outrageous means possible. And he is going to go full-blown into the attack mode on this whistleblower, already claiming that there is a political bias, and he doesn't even know who the person is.
So then what is your solution to that?
You mean after we've had the whistleblower in?
Yeah, I mean, like, where does it go after that? It just seems to me like there are literally dozens of people you should be talking to.
We very may do that as a second, third, fourth, and so on step. But the next step, I believe, is to talk with the whistleblower. There's nothing we're going to do to deter the president to get off of his 4 basic play handbook. He's used it throughout his presidency and during his campaign. Yeah. Every word that comes out of his mouth is deny, attack, play the victim, or change the subject through outrageous means.
Final question.
Always has been.
Final question, Congressman Sewell. They have been stonewalling you, but they have released 2 extremely damning documents in 2 days. Do you expect you'll be able to get more?
Well, you know, they only released it, Chris, because they were forced to release it. Right. It's clear that there was this whole scheme has been going on for months by the Trump administration, that Donald Trump wanted dirt on Biden. And the fact that that the State Department and White House officials knew about it and chose to put the readout in a separate server just to me shows how complicitous they are. So I think it's really important that we got on the record that the Office of ODNI thought, first of all, that the whistleblower was credible, that he did everything right and appropriate, that he totally said to us that he didn't think that he was a political hacker. I think it's really important that we don't get caught up in Trump's fairy tale and that we don't let him divert attention away from the real source of the problem, and that is an extreme abuse of presidential power.
Congressman.